Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2019 horror comedy sequel Zombieland Double Tap, a film that is directed by Ruben Fleischer and it stars Woody Harrelson as Tallahassee, Jesse Eisenberg as Columbus, Emma Stone as Wichita, Abigail Breslin as Little Rock, and we also have many others making appearances like Rosario Dawson, Zoe Deutsch, Evan Yogia, Luke Wilson, and a whole range of other people. Now, I might shock you here and I might not, I'm not a huge fan of the first Zombieland film. I think it's a reasonable amount of fun and it's certainly watchable, but it didn't, blow my skirt up or anything when it first came out. I'm not a massive fan of the zombie genre in general. Although I found it entertaining enough. Well, I must have found it entertaining enough because I've been to cinema to watch the sequel. And what is Zombieland Double Tap about? Well, it's pretty much the same film as the first one in a lot of ways. It carries on some years after the end of the first one. Not an awful lot has changed. You see him at the beginning, laying siege to the White House and clearing that out so that he can spend some time there and live like kings and queens. There's a few new zombies about. They've given them names. Now the zombies, there's like Homers, which are really stupid ones. There's Hawkings, which are like Stephen Hawking smart. And there's new ones they've called T-800s, which are like Terminators. And these are like indestructible killing machine zombies, in the sense of they're very, very difficult to kill. And this essentially mainly focuses on Little Rock goes on the run with Evan Yogia's character, who is basically a hippie, Berkeley. She goes off with him because she's desperate to be around someone of her own age, and basically the guys set off trying to track her down, and she ends up at this like peace-loving hippie commune where guns are not allowed, and it's very, very safe. There's no zombies ever going to get in there. Of course they're not. And they all kind of meet up eventually. And guess what? The zombies can get in the hippie commune. And it's up to Tallahassee, Columbus, Wichita, Little Rock and everybody else to keep everybody alive. Right, so what did I think of this? Well, I'm not going to lie, I was a bit underwhelmed with this film. I thought it was entertaining. It felt like I was watching the first film again. Just felt like the same film. And there was a couple of fun bits in the film. I like the sequence where Luke Wilson turns up with the other guy, and they're basically the mirror images of Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg. That was quite a fun sequence. Rosario Dawson's character, I really like Rosario Dawson as an actress. Generally speaking, I like pretty much everything she's been in. I just don't think her character added anything to this film really, other than a little bit of a love interest for Woody Harrelson. The friction between Jesse Eisenberg and Emma Stone was still there, even though they're kind of a couple but they're not. I think the best thing they added into this film was Zoe Deutsch's character Madison, who plays like this blonde bimbo, I suppose you could call a cheerleader, who's been living in a freezer and she ends up teaming up with them, and she's so stupid it's quite hilarious really. Doesn't do an awful lot for women's power, I suppose, or whatever you want to call it, but she was certainly funny. And that's it. They just get into a few escapades here and there, a few misadventures, lots of zombie killing. You've got zombie kill of the year now rather than zombie kill of the week. You get the flashes back and forth of all these people doing these creative zombie kills. You've got your rules, Jesse Eisenberg's rules. It doesn't feel like they've freshened up the idea at all really, other than adding in a couple of new zombies, a couple of new characters. Some worked, some didn't. It almost felt like a comedy skit. It went from one skit to the other, Some of the laughs worked, a lot of them didn't. I mean, Woody Harrelson's always watchable, and he is here as well. He's easily the best thing in the film, as he was the first time round. And it just seems like everybody else is here along for the ride. I don't know, it just didn't inspire me, this film. I enjoyed it enough in the cinema. I was entertained for the most part. As I walked out, it was one of those films, as I left the cinema, I was just kind of like, well, that was just exactly the same as the first film. And they probably would sit together very well as two films together. But from my perspective, I'm not going to score it too low, this film, because it's very competent. The effects are all good. There are some entertaining sequences. Some of the kills and some of the action sequences are pretty good, and the chemistry is all there. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. But I would say if you enjoyed the first one, you're probably going to enjoy the second one. But don't be expecting anything overly freshened up here, because I don't really think they have. They've kind of chewed up the first one and spat out a sequel. Basically, it's very, very similar. So that is my review for Zombieland Double Tap. Thanks for watching, everybody, and of course I'll see you next time on Screen Stars.